Morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. How are y'all doing this morning? Good. How many of you have been here before? Good. So you all know what 1 Million Cups is. It's our way to share entrepreneurial stories over a cup of coffee. Hopefully 1 million cups of coffee. 1 million cups is going on in quite a few cities across the United States at this time right now, 9 o'clock every Wednesday. 1 million cups is a derivative of the Kaufman Foundation, which is one of our sponsors. We want to thank our sponsors, which is Levius Coffee, the Arkansas Innovation Hub, because we get to host 1 million cups here every Wednesday. And we also want to thank our new sponsors, which is the ASBTDC. The ASBTDC is here today, and that's because 2 of their employees have now come on as organizers for 1 million cups. We have Blake and Jared back there in the back. Welcome. Also, so you'll be seeing them more active here in the upcoming weeks. Also, we have our video that we show every Wednesday for 1 million cups, and we want to go ahead and play that right now.
One Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It's a great energy to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable. Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to do things. You know what? My idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
All right, and that's 1 million cups in a nutshell. I want to introduce our presenters today. We will have Steve Manatt from Manatt Web Design, and we'll also have Corey Walker from Wunderfund. So Steve, come on up.
Well, good morning. Thanks for being here today. It's a little weird talking about myself and my story, but hopefully we'll have some fun doing it. It's supposed to be orange. Does it come through a little orange? A little bit orange, okay. Orange is a new favorite color. I don't know why, but whenever it was blue, so I subconsciously picked the correlating matching color of orange. But my tagline is "Your Web Finally," and it's been that way for a long time because one of the things that happens with my clients when I first talk to them is that there's a high degree of frustration that they felt with the people who have managed their web services, and they felt like maybe some of them were held hostage or they just don't have control over it. So one of my goals in my business is to help give them back some control over their web. So I kind of use that tagline, "Your Web Finally," because I don't want to keep your website hostage or anything like that. So a little bit about me and background. So I've been doing web development and design for over 15 years. I started as a response to clients asking me who did this site or what did that site for the company that I was working for. And so I got to talk to a lot of people about web design and how to craft sites for specialized organizations like churches who have complex audience problems. And so it just kind of evolved, my business kind of evolved out of just a need that people had to find somebody that they can trust, that they know, somebody local. And it was a side business for about 13 years. So I had a full-time job and I was doing this on the side, and it paid for 3 kids' adoptions, and it paid for, a vacation here and there. But it was something that it was really small and kind of on the side, but it was something that was constant. And one of the interesting things about my business is that I have spent $0 on marketing in 15 years. $0. Every client that I've had has been a referral. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. I'm a grad at Hendrix College. Any Hendrix grads around? There's Mike. I know he's a Hendrix grad. I have a degree in physics, and I use it 0% of it every day. So, but the experience of going to college and going through that process is one of the things that I contribute to my ability to run a business today. So, I'm by nature a problem solver. So some of you have seen Clay Mosley around. You know, Clay presented a couple weeks ago. He has a shirt. What's on his shirt? You might remember web developer, right? Well, mine would say problem solver. Okay, so that's one of the things that kind of special just about me as who I am. So let's get to it. I'm going to give you, the goal today is to kind of give you some things that I have found are important around building a business, especially the type of business that I've been able to grow, which is a referral-based business. Now, I think these things will speak to you as just kind of common sense things, but they're things that have to be intentional if you're going to grow a business. At least they have been for me. A little bit extra background. And so I'm no longer employed by somebody else. So in December 2014, I left Axiom Corporation after an 8-year stint there. Most tech guys in this, tech people in this city have spent a stint at Axiom. Anybody here worked at Axiom before the time? Sean did. Most web developers that I mentioned, or that I talked to, or that I come across, have spent some time at either Alltel or Axiom or Builders or someplace like that. So I spent 8 years there, 5 years as an instructional designer. So I built web-based training. The first one in Axiom's history, as we needed to train a global audience. And then 3 years in sales operations where I cared for Salesforce.com. So I've got a very, very background. I've been a network engineer, I've built computers, I've built server rooms, I can terminate cables in my sleep, network cables. So I've done lots of stuff. So that's another thing that's kind of maybe been part of the success that I've had, is just this idea that I can do lots of stuff or do lots of stuff. So anyway, let's get going. Sorry. So number one, the client is not. Clay mentioned this 2 weeks ago too. But you see this little action right here. Because the other side of that coin is that you must always do right by the client. So the client's not always right. Why would they need you if they were always right? Right? So as a consultant, as somebody who comes in and helps solve problems, you need to be able to have a level of trust with your client that you can say, you know what, I don't think that's a good way to go, but we're going to establish a level of trust so that you know that in the end, I'm going to do right by you. And so that's kind of the most important thing. So that's one bookend in this deal that I wanted to play off one of the Clay things there. Number two, value relationships involved. And so Susie is one of my clients with Local First. I built that site. So was the hub, Aaron, and the guys here. And the first thing that I say to one in the first meeting is that if we can't be friends, if we can't maintain a good, healthy relationship, I'll find somebody else to do your website. Okay? Because I don't want to have to shirk away from you if I see you in the program, or I don't have to walk, kind of hide my eyes and avoid you. I want to be able to come up and your neck and ask you how you're doing. And so that's a really, really important thing for me. And it should be for everyone. Number three, live in the present. And so that's how I'm wired. I live in today. I don't think about the past. I don't regret things much, and I don't worry about the future. And so one of the things I think that most of us need to be doing more of is living today, and figuring out how to solve today's problems, and living for what's going on around us. Friends and family are really important, and so there's enough stuff today that we can worry about without having to think about the past and the future. Work hard. Work really hard. I have never worked harder than the last 2 years. When I left Axiom to work for a small startup that lasted 3 months. So I left an 8-year career at Axiom to work for a small startup, great group of guys. The investor called one day, I'm not doing it anymore, y'all go home. And so I found myself without a job. And there was a point along the way where I made the switch from unemployed to self-employed. And it was a big mental switch for me. It was a paradigm shift. And so no longer was I worried about how the bills were going to get paid. I started thinking about what does the future look like? And an old dream surfaced. I had a dream of owning my own company, of running my own business. And all of a sudden, I had that perfect opportunity to do it. Now, I chased jobs. I had interviews. I did lots of stuff to try and find a secure job. But I became unemployable for whatever reason. I don't have any idea. But I've never worked harder in the last 2 years. But at the same time, I've never been more happy. Okay, so there's something to be said for working hard. I work all the time. So I'm on the couch at night, on Saturdays, Susie knows, I'm holding all night here one night, getting us ready to launch Local First. You just have to be willing to work hard. But you gotta have fun. And so one of the things that I'm going to share with you at the end is that I'm a maker. And so that fits right in with the culture here at the Hub, and I work out at the Hub here, love the staff here. One of the things that they've really helped me kind of bring out is this whole maker. So I'm a woodworker. I've done 3D printing and laser cutting, and I've learned how to use the CNC machine and printed T-shirts. I built scavenger hunts on the side. Elaborate all-day scavenger hunts for my family. 10 people. I spend 100 hours designing and crafting these scavenger hunts to take them all day to solve for 10 people. And we do it at Thanksgiving called Turkey Hunt. But those are the kinds of things that help me have fun in and amongst solving the problems for my clients. Finally, and this is the other book, is that you have to be willing to make a difference. You're actually not just willing, but you have to commit to make a difference. If you're not willing to kind of rise the tide and raises all ships, you're probably not going to last. Or you won't want to last. I get a lot of satisfaction about solving problems. I get a lot of satisfaction for helping people by making a difference in their lives, in their businesses, in relationships. So it's one of the things that kind of started with just responding to what people needed, that has turned into this passion to just make a difference. More info, you can go to my websites. This bottom one, by the way, is my personal blog. I give you access to that and tell you about it because I'm an open book. You can find out all kinds of things around and about who I am as a person. When I lost my job, I posted my resume on this personal blog on purpose. Because I wanted people that came and saw my resume to be able to look around. 10 years worth of posts. You can find everything from how I fixed my trampoline to why Father's Day is a big deal and a very complicated day for me. So I encourage you, if you at all want to know more about me, I'll be here afterwards. But that tells us there's a lot of history there, and you can go find out there. Manattweb.com is where you can find out about the business and blah, blah, blah. But anyway. That's what I got. Thanks for coming out. I think we're doing good questions, right?
So we're going to have a brief Q&A with Steve here. And when you ask your question, please state your name and where you're from and speak up so that we can catch you on the live stream camera right here. All right. Question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Joe Calhoun, for Little Rock. For someone who's uncomfortable speaking about themselves, you do a great job. Very relaxed, personable. Question: no expansion plans in the works or in intentions. You can't clone yourself,
right? Yeah, it's a good. So something I didn't cover is that I'm kind of one-man shop. I have a couple of people that I have 1099 relationships with that help fill in the gaps and help kind of help with bandwidth. But I'm just kind of taking the business as it comes to me. And so one of the things that because it's a referral business, I'm busy all the time. Interestingly, I'm busy all the time. And so, yes, I think there's something more. I don't know what that is yet, Joe. But when it comes, I'll embrace it and we'll figure it out. I've got some key partnerships that I work with. So Exit Marketing is one of the ones that I do all their website development. And so that's been real fun to kind of find some stuff like that. And we're talking about how we can expand that relationship and do more things there. So no plans, but definitely open to whatever comes down the pipe. Thanks for that. Anything else? Mike?
Steve.
So, what is your favorite and what is your least favorite role within your company?
Oh, that's good. So I get really excited on the kind of the e-business consulting side. So when I get to be introduced to a client, talking about their story, hearing what they want to do, and then coming up with a plan on how to get it done. So Seth Godin I'm a fan of his. I heard a podcast one day, and he said, entrepreneur versus self-employed. And there are two different, freelancer was the term he used. Self-employed, or entrepreneur versus freelancer. He said those two things are very, very different. He said a freelancer is somebody who gets paid for what they do. And entrepreneurs get paid for building business value. And you need to choose one. And so I thought about that for a second. Seth said it, I needed to consider it. And so I thought, if I never had to punch into the key behind a keyboard, I'd be okay with that. But I can't get away from figuring out how to solve problems that are presented to me through the relationships that I have with my clients. And so my most favorite thing is sitting in front of a client, hearing their problems, coming up with a solution, and then seeing that done, seeing that executed through completion. At the end of it, going, that was awesome. Or, there have been cases where that wasn't so awesome. Right? I have clients that are no longer clients that probably wouldn't speak very highly of me, so yes, I have failed. But at the end of the day, we can still like each other's back. They work out business-wise, but relationally, we're okay. The least favorite thing is, it's just probably coding. I'm not very good at it. I do it. I've had to learn how to do it, and I've had to learn how to be good at it to a certain extent. But I've been sitting in the same room with some really coders. You know those guys who drink Mountain Dew and do it all hours of the night. That can code circles around. So I realized that I'm not very good at that. I have had to do it, but I would rather find someone else to do it. So anyway, so that's another thing. Thanks, Mike, for that. Find what your strengths are, live in your strengths, and find someone else to do the stuff that you're not very good at. And so you may come up to me and you say, Steve, do you know how to do this? And if I say no, I'll probably follow up with, but I know it. Right? Because this is a very tight-knit community. And so I know guys that can code PHP. I know guys who are wizards with WordPress backends. I know guys who could develop a digital marketing strategy that rivals no one. Right? I know people who do that. And so if I don't know it, I probably know that. Or leave it. Right? So anyway, great question. Thanks, Mike. Anyone else? Yeah.
Storm, sure, but where do you see web pages and websites going in the future?
It's a good question.
As far as format.
Yeah. So these devices that we have in our pockets, very, very important these days, and will become more important. And so if you've ever come across a website that looks horrid or you can't really read it on your phone, that's a problem. That's a red flag. And I have thought about looking for websites that are not mobile friendly and calling those people saying, hey, can I help you? Can I be of assistance? Because what you're missing an entire audience. And so I think mobile is going to continue to be a trend where everybody's going to have to figure out how to engage people more simply. And so there's an inverse relationship between simple for the user and complex for the developer. Right? So what's simple for you is on your phone means that there were hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of study and development and time put into that on the back of your life development. So I think mobile is one of those things. The trend's not going to stop. And who knows what that's going to look like in the next 5 years. I mean, we may be doing glasses. I mean, there's all kinds of wearables that are coming out. VR, so you guys don't know it necessarily, but you're being recorded in 360 by a small camera right here. This is the first million cups that's done that. I'll have it and I'll share it. But it's kind of fun to think about is being able to put on a pair of goggles and be able to experience something in 360. So I think that's another trend. That's got to get simpler. It's got to get less expensive, and it will, because it's gonna come easier. I think that the services, self-service services like Wix and others, they're fine. But I've had clients who have gone that route and they've always come back because it's a box that they're constrained in, right? And they always get about 80% of what they want with those services, and they do come back because their business hasn't more to needs. And so I think the developer, the relationship you have with somebody technical is never going to go away. The need for that is never going to go away. So that's another thing that I think. Great question. Does that help? Does that answer that?
Yeah.
Great. Anyone else? Well, thank you so much for being here today and hearing my story, putting up with me. Look forward to hearing from Corey at Wonderfund.
Okay, so we always ask everybody at the end of every presentation, what can we do for them as a community to help them progress forward? What can we do for you?
I think for me, I would love it if we as a community could do what I said at the last point, is just commit to make a difference. Work together, right? And so for me, to see you guys and nod your head, it's a little warm fuzzy in my heart, because it's all about us. Not about me, it's all about us. So I think if you guys can commit to make a difference for those around you, and to strengthen those relationships, that would be awesome. So it doesn't necessarily help me, but do for me, but it does do for us, which I'm part of. So thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Steve. So next we will have Corey Walker from Wonderfront, and I'll let him explain to you what that is.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Awesome, awesome. I just want to piggyback on Steve's great presentation, by the way, about making a difference. My name is Corey Walker, and I'm here on behalf of Wonderfund. Has anybody, just by a show of hands, has anybody heard of Wonderfund? Oh, we got a couple in the house. Okay, great, great. Well, hopefully today, Wonderfund will be a memory that you take with you and you're able to share with others. Wonderfund launched August 1st of 2016. And what we're about is pretty important, I think. You know, when you talk about making a difference, our goal is to have nonprofit organizations raise revenue for their missions, for their goals. Our program is pretty unique. It's not quote unquote normal fundraising. You know, we've really incorporated technology into the format so that we can actually allow nonprofit organizations to actually receive funds on a monthly basis. Now, that's probably exciting for some nonprofits, because usually if you have a program maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, and it's a big fundraiser, and you really put a lot of energy and time into those events. Well, what we can do is actually come and just kind of piggyback on those events in conjunction with those nonprofits and set them up to in a position where they can actually earn revenue month after month after month in between those major events that they have, either annually or semi-annually. And so I've got a short video I'm going to share with you, and then I'll get into a little more detail quickly, and then just a little bit about my role, and then we'll take questions.
Hi, I'm Geneva. I've been raising money for nonprofit organizations for more than 20 years. Well, let's face it, a charity's greatest challenge is to develop a monthly revenue stream. And to do that, you either need an army of volunteers running your special events, or you need a wealthy donor base. What if there was a way that you could create a monthly revenue stream without taxing your volunteers or asking your donors for a check every month? Wonderfund could be the solution. The Wonderfund app is a membership-based digital savings app your supporters can download to their phone. With the Wonderfund app, you can raise money and benefit your supporters at the same time. By using discounts offered by participating businesses, your supporters' monthly savings will exceed the cost of their monthly membership when they use the app. No inventory, no books or coupons, no upfront costs. Here's how it works. Sign up, it's free. Tell your supporters in the way that you tell them about all the exciting things that you have. Your supporters buy the Wonderfund app for $10 a month and they start saving. Then $5 of that membership is sent to you each month. It's just that simple. Wonder if your organization qualifies? Contact us today. Together, we can save the world.
Okay, so a little bit how it works, and she just really just in a minute to just really kind of explain it all. But this is what the app looks like on your phone. And so this program is actually provided at no cost to 501c3 or 514 or nonprofit organizations. No cost whatsoever. We actually provide a website, a branded app for them, and marketing materials to actually help them attract donors or supporters in addition to the ones that they already are receiving support from. And so a little bit about the app. The app is really unique. I mean, you probably have seen different types of apps on your app market where you can go and download it and save money in different places. I'm sure all of us in here dine out from time to time or give maintenance done to our vehicles. Well, what our app does is allow people like you and me to save anywhere from 10 to 50% off the things that we do on a monthly basis at over 200,000 locations nationwide. And oh, by the way, we're based in Wonderfront. So that's huge. We're based right here in Little Rock. And so use of the app is unlimited. So families, individuals can utilize the app on an unlimited basis. And like I mentioned earlier, things like dining, shopping, entertainment, and so forth are included. But here's what we do for the business community as well. We have national merchants, a lot of the big chain stores that we shop at on a continual basis, but small businesses, if you're a startup or if you're looking for ways to maximize your advertising dollars, I can actually add you to our app at no cost as well. And so you can add businesses as long as you're willing to provide a small discount, a minimum 10%, or create a unique discount in our platform. We'll actually market and promote your business via the app. And so for those nonprofit organizations whose supporters subscribe to the app, they're actually able to go in and perhaps find your business, do business with you because you offer a discount. And so apps is just on your cell phone, real simple. Hopefully afterwards I can kind of demonstrate it for you. Let's go to the next slide. And on this next slide, this is just to reiterate pretty much what you saw in the video. A supporter purchased the app. The app is $10 a month. There's no contract, so supporters can cancel at any time. But it gives them access to over 200,000 deals nationwide. And so if you travel to other markets, we've used it in different states and different cities. Wonderfund gives you, the organization, 50% of the $10. So that's $5 per month. So our goal initially is to help nonprofit organizations attract, a minimum of 100 supporters. We do that. That's $500 a month, $6,000 a year that organization will be receiving from us at Wonderfund. And that's pretty powerful. And every time their supporters open their app, they're seeing the organization that they're supporting. And so I think that's powerful. So we do a lot with their logo. We market, we present, and of course, we do, or when those organizations have big events, we can actually come in and assist them in getting people subscribed to the app. And so that's pretty cool right there. I like that. So I'll take questions. Yes, ma'am.
Great, awesome what you do. I'm so excited because I know a lot about nonprofits. My question is, how does the nonprofit receive their payments each month? Is it deposited into account? Is it check? How does that work?
Let me answer that the short, long way if I can. And so we have a single form agreement with those nonprofits, and the agreement just says, hey, we're going to not do anything illegal with the app program. And so once we get them signed on and approved, get their app developed, uploaded in their website, also provide a branded website for them, we cut them a check every single month. It's usually about the 5th of the month. And so far, several of us have been hand delivering those checks. But we also have at least 1 or 2 organizations out of state right now, and we drop those in the mail. That's just too far to drive. Yeah, so good question. Yes, sir.
John, from Sherwood, do you have to have a brick and mortar to be a part of the Wonderfund?
You do not, but you have to have a nonprofit designation. And we verify that with the lives.
Storm from Sherwood, new nonprofit. How soon can we get together?
Well, ASAP, we'd love to get you signed up. I have information over here, and we can exchange information and get you signed up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Joe here. From a donor's perspective, the full $120 a year, that's a minimum, I guess. That's fully tax deductible. You get a statement at the end of the year for that.
The $5 is tax deductible.
Five out of the 10.
5 of the 10.
Assuming you did it for a year, half of that's going to be tax deductible.
Yes.
But that's really just a floor. I mean, you're buying access to the app, or buying the app. And then you can plug in however much dollars you want to donate to that particular organization. But it's split between you and the organization. Or are you just splitting the $10 monthly fee?
That's all we're splitting.
Okay.
That's all we're splitting. And we don't charge for anything, so the other 5 kind of helps us to, keep the business running and develop new materials for the nonprofits that we're supporting. But any additional funds that a donor donates to their organization is separate from what we actually do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can they make additional donations through the app?
No, sir. The app is specifically designed for you to use when you're going to mugs over here.
Right.
And so if you go to the local merchant, you use that app and you receive your discount right there.
So there's no way for the person that buys into the program app to do an additional donation. Say they wanted to do an additional $60 then to donate to that nonprofit. They can't do that through the app.
Not through the app, but directly to the organization.
Yes.
And the organization will run you for it.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Carlos, see what there's not allowed. My question is more on how the deals are delivered. Are they pushed out on like a monthly or a weekly basis, or are they delivered based on some proximity tools? Say I walk into Target and then I see my deal based on proximity, or are they all pushed out at one time on a monthly or weekly or daily basis?
Good question. So what he's asking is, are the deals sent to the app on a? The deals are always present. Now they may change from time to time depending on the merchant, and so they may change. And then in terms of proximity, the app is set up to be used in 2 different ways. You can use it by putting in a specific location. So if you're in North Little Rock, you're in the area, you can just put North Little Rock, or you can use your geolocation with your GPS, and it will pull up deals. You can set the range from 5 all the way out to 50 miles, and you can see all the deals in the area that are available to you via that. It's a powerful thing. Which one?
Literally, question.
Yes, sir.
You shouldn't be spending money that you don't have yet. But, the funds that are coming in, for the funds that are coming in, can they be put into a restricted account or unrestricted, account for the nonprofit? I think can the person dictate where the money, what category for?
Once we write the check, you can do whatever you want to do with those funds. We have no stipulation or any barrier on how you utilize those funds. I'll come back to you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so from a standpoint of adoption, what do you think your biggest challenges to both kind of a barrier to adoption, given the attention span of the people online, and then keeping them utilizing this service over time, given the fact that getting a $10 hit on a monthly statement that they're going to see on their cell phone bill or however that gets paid. How do you keep this momentum going over time?
Good question. One of the things about it is kind of organic. I mean, it's really addictive. And so once people grasp the concept of actually using the app to save money on their day-to-day items, if they go to a place like, say, Men's Warehouse, and they save 40%, which they do with the app, like one gentleman saved about $900 on some suits that he was purchasing. The guy behind him got the app. because the savings was just, it was right there in his face. And he took the app and started using it. So it's kind of addictive. Some people, like your millennials and people who are really tech savvy, they're using this platform in other places as well. But one of the things we do use, of course, is social media and marketing and so forth. And we're always working with the nonprofits if they allow us to continue to promote for them. And we provide those marketing materials as well.
Do you show like some calculated savings they've made within the app over time?
The app does that. So as you're saving, you can track it. I was going to bring some receipts today just so y'all can see how my wife and we save money with those two boys back there. We shop at Crazy 8 and we get an extra 20% off of their sale items. And so we're saving upwards, 60, 70% off our purchases using the app, and then you just punch in your savings and it calculates it for you on an ongoing basis. Then it breaks it down by month. All right, yes, sir.
Jason Gambrell, One Bank Little Rock. Can you give some examples of some success stories that you guys have had through, some of the nonprofits and just, how they have marketed it, if it's word of mouth, if it's website? Just give some examples of what that's looked like.
Sure. One example I will give, and I try not to be biased in mentioning the nonprofits that we have. Right now, we have roughly 30 to 35 who've actually taken on the program. And on the website that each of these programs, each of these nonprofits have, we have their mission, what they're raising funds for. And one of those is a local church here who is raising funds to create a backpack snack program for the children in their neighborhood. And so they came about by some of the parishioners and some of the clergy from that particular church driving around the neighborhood and seeing kids who were maybe hungry and maybe asking for things because they don't have food at home. And so we got them set up to help raise funds. And that kind of goes back to the question gentleman back there asked. They're going to use those funds specifically to purchase snacks for children at the bus stops. That's one. And then we have another one that deals in math tutoring. They're not actually in the state, but they are a STEM-based nonprofit. And their funds are being used to sponsor, in part, their annual summer camps. They have two, one in Austin and one in Waco. And so as they're building their support base with the app, those funds are climbing with the incline of new supporters. I hope that gives you pretty good examples. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Can this program be used within other advertising, like a Kickstarter program? Offering the app as, people donate to the Kickstarter program. You donate this much, you actually become part of this. Can you code or anything like that? Or
in a sense, you can. We do give you a branded website for yourself. So what's the name of your organization?
Coffee Prayer Worship.
So your website will be coffeeprayerworship.wonderfund.org. And with your high resolution logo and things that we have for you, your mission, you can actually include that link on your Kickstarter, format, and people can click. Now, in terms of merging them, that would be like a coding nightmare. But we can certainly provide you with the tools necessary to drive traffic to your website. Yes, there's no cost for the website. And also, just as a last piece, I don't know when anyone was going to ask this, but we have been asked by a certain number of our organizations, how do we know who's purchasing the app? Well, we keep track of all that data, and we can provide to you. We have like newsletters or anything that you send out electronically. We can provide you on a monthly basis an Excel spreadsheet with the names and email addresses, which is all that we collect from the donors. But we can provide that to you so you can update your database to see who supported it as well. Yes, ma'am.
Corey, is it a national organization, Wonderfund? How big is Wonderfund? It seems like you didn't start it, right? Or did you start it?
I've been there since inception, maybe before inception. Just kind of the planning and development stages of this. And no, we're about this big right now. But it was a national nonprofit that pretty much led to the discussion of how can we help nonprofit organizations with our existing product, which is something very similar. And so from there, we had to create Wonderfund in order to be able to support those large nonprofits. And so we made it good for everyone. But on our previous platform, we weren't able to do what we're able to do now. And so a few people know about us. If that answers your question. But we're just small, like I said, we're based on Little Rock, and right now we're serving about 30 to 35 nonprofits, and we like to grow.
Can I just ask a follow-up?
Sure.
As the account executive, are you out talking to different businesses to have them join Wonderfund as well as letting the nonprofits understand better what it is?
Absolutely. I'm not only working with, the, I guess, person in charge and the decision maker, but I'm also working with the organization as they're looking for ways to attract people to the app and so forth. And so I'm there every step of the way. I'm not going to necessarily do everything for the organization, but I'm there to provide that support and kind of help them, develop their ideas in terms of marketing and planning to get more donors involved. Yes, ma'am. Good question. Yes, ma'am.
And so I just pulled everything up, so you got 563 places within the Little Rock and North Little Rock area, which is awesome. So where do you see yourself in like 5 years from now?
Well, we've got some plans. So let me answer that in a short, long way. Each market is different. So right now we've got roughly 550 or so. If you expand it out in your app, you may see more in other places. But like if you go to Dallas, we got like 1,000 deals and locations there. You go to Houston, we got like 1,500. So I mean, it varies by the market. And right now we've got a little over 200,000. I see us in the next year, hopefully, offering 400,000. And so we're looking at ways to expand the app and actually keep the subscriber price the same. So that $10 will still be $10, even though they're going to have access to 100% more deals. And you can use it anywhere, pretty much in the country. Like I said, it just depends on where you are will determine what you have access to. So within a year, 12 months from now, the goal is to get to 400,000. Yes, ma'am. Good question. Any others?
Yes.
Give it up for Yana as she comes.
We do have one more question for you, and that is, what can we as a 1 Million Cups community do for you and the Wonderfund app?
Thank you very much. Good question. Well, one thing you can do for us is to help spread the word about us. We're here to help. We want to give nonprofit organizations the opportunity to kind of take some of the stress and burden off of themselves in terms of fundraising. Fundraising is tough. It's hard work, it's fun work, it's rewarding work, and if we can be a part of that, that's what we want to do. So spread the word about us, sit down with me, let me share more detail about how we can assist you with your fundraising, and that's what we'll focus on. We'll focus on attracting more donors for your organization, and we look forward to every first week of the month, because we're actually writing checks to those organizations, and that is very uplifting to us to know that we're helping you move your missions forward.
Thank you very much. All right, that concludes our presenters for 1 Million Cups. I don't know if anyone has any announcements, but hopefully we'll see you next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Thanks. Of course.